Good morning and welcome in on this Monday. Dan Hardenbrook, glad to have you along from the Duke Sport Shop Studios, downtown Newberry. Hope your weekend went well. Let's get you back into it with a look at your latest local news from around the region. It is your Newberry News Update here on M123 FM. In your local news this morning, Cloverland Electric Cooperative says crews are working hard again this morning to restore power to those still without service following this past weekend's storm. Heavy rain and high winds whipped through the central and eastern upper peninsula this weekend, and Cloverland says that over 13,000 of their customers were left in the dark for a period of time this weekend. Outages spanned across more than 30 different townships in all 5 counties in Cloverland service area, including Chippewa, Luce, Mackinac, Alger, and Schoolcraft counties. Outages were down to a few hundred as of this morning. Crews continued to work around the clock through the weekend until safety rest was required. You can follow along on the latest outages and updates by checking out Cloverland's website. They have up-to-date alerts and outage maps available at cloverland.com. If you are without power, you have to plan accordingly until services are reinstated, and contact Cloverland as soon as you possibly can if you are reporting new power outages. The Luce County Veteran Services Office and the Luce County Veterans Board of Affairs announced the 2022 Luce County Veteran of the Year at a ceremony this weekend. Newberry resident David Gaudreau has been selected as this year's Luce County Veteran of the Year. Gaudreau was presented with his award at a banquet that took place at the American Legion Post 74 in Newberry this weekend. The Newberry News will have a full report on that presentation and Gaudreau's receiving of the award in this week's edition of the Newberry News. The Chippewa County Sheriff's Office is investigating suspected THC-induced candy that was found at a local Eastern Upper Peninsula school. On Friday, 2 students ages 12 to 14 were found to be under the influence. Early indications were that the ingested THC candy, the candy was found on a 3rd student at the district. The school resource officers are investigating the incident. The candy appears to be marked and sold for adults. Chippewa County Sheriff's Office wanted to clear up any misinformation that was going around. Remind adults that THC items are for, indeed, adults only. You're asked to please make sure items are locked up and not available to children. Chippewa County Sheriff's Office says it's not clear how the children came into possession of the items. The Department of Natural Resources is launching its second Youth in the Outdoors survey. It's a great way for local youth to share feedback on the outdoors, including what they like to do and how the DNR can help. To get feedback from some of the UP's younger outdoors men and women, wildlife biologist Christy Sitar and wildlife technician Jane Rohr have launched the department's second Youth in the Outdoors survey. Youth can complete the survey between now and January 6th. Surveys can be found online or on paper. You can see a local insert in the most recent edition of the Newberry News. Paper copies of the survey are also available at the Newberry DNR Customer Service Center, the Nobbin DNR office, the Newberry News, Ace Hardware, Duke Sport Shop, S&J Sports, Renzi Power Sports, Mark's Rod and Reel, and the Hiawatha Sportsman's Club. Surveys on paper copies can be returned to the Newberry DNR Customer Service Center, either in person, via mail, or email. You can submit that to ROORJ, that's ROORHJ 1 at michigan.gov. The first Youth in the Outdoor survey occurred in the fall of 2021. About a third of the results showed youth were interested in learning more about hunting, and about a quarter were interested in learning about trapping. Other interesting outdoor activities include hiking, camping, fishing, snowshoeing, and shooting. Once again, for more information, you can check out the most recent edition of the Newberry News. And Godine Consolidated Schools has announced a local donation to their special education department. Bob Bodwin of the Nobbinway Knights of Columbus Unit 7472 presented Superintendent Andrew Alvis Steffer of Engadine Consolidated Schools with a donation check in the amount of $495.30. The funds will be used for purchases of materials for Engadine's Special Education Department. Board of Education and Engadine Consolidated Schools is thanking the donors who graciously allowed the betterment of students with disabilities. That is your latest local news this morning. It's your Newberry News Update here on M123 FM. Time now to check in with sports this morning. The Newberry High School cross-country program has announced end-of-the-season awards from the Upper Peninsula Cross-Country Coaches Association. Newberry freshman Samantha Taylor was voted by the group as the UP Female Runner of the Year for the 2022 season. As a Division III school, it's especially significant since the award is given to only one runner in the entire UP. Taylor lost only one race all season. 2021 UP Runner of the Year Lola Corpy beat her by 4 seconds in Samantha's first varsity 5K race earlier in the season. No competitor finished ahead of Taylor the remainder of the year. She had the best time of any female runner in the UP this season at 19 minutes and 37 seconds. She broke the 20-minute mark in a third of her races. Taylor is also one of the first freshmen to win all UP honors with the group. Newberry had a second runner on the Dream Team. Junior Kaylin Clark was again voted as one of the UP's finest female runners. Clark finished with the personal best time of 20 minutes, 18 seconds at the finals meet. Was D3 runner-up to her teammate, Taylor. Clark finished the season strong, and her time at finals was fifth best of the entire field, with only 3 D1 athletes faster than Clark outside of her own team. On the boys' side, all UP honors went to Sam Rahali, who finished 18th at UP Finals. His time gained recognition from the UPCCA, improving over 4 minutes since the beginning of the season. Rahali made impressive showings in the 85-runner field of Division III boys. Tequamanon area schools is congratulating all 3 runners, Samantha Taylor, Kaylin Clark, and Sam Rahali, on those honors. State Savings Bank 14U hockey team went to Negaunee yesterday for a pair of games. They sweep Iron Range, picking up victories by scores of 2-0 and 2-1. The State Savings Bank team off to a strong start this season. They're now 4-0 in regular season play, finished runner-up at their first tournament last weekend. The Packers and the Lions battled yesterday, and it was Detroit that got the upper hand. The Lions win it 15-9 in an ugly game at Ford Field. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 interceptions. Packers had just 106 yards of total rushing as the offense struggled again. It's the 5th straight loss for the Packers, who fall to 3-6 on the season. Jared Goff had 137 yards and 2 touchdowns to lead the Lions to the victory. After a wild weekend in college football that saw the number 1, number 4, number 6, and number 10 teams all fall in action, Michigan Wolverines are on the rise. Wolverines come in number 3 in this week's Associated Press Top 25 poll. They moved up 1 spot, and it's their highest ranking of the season. Georgia was a near unanimous number 1. The 3rd-ranked Bulldogs beat number 1 Tennessee in convincing fashion on Saturday. TCU makes the jump to number 4. Ohio State comes in at 2nd. Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU are the lone remaining unbeatens in college football. Your latest local weather forecast for the day today. Here's what we can expect for the start of the week. Greasy clouds and cool temperatures for this Monday. Highs in the low 40s, northwest winds 10 to 15. Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high in the mid 40s, light winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, rain returns to the area. We'll see showers with a high in the low 50s. I'm Dan Hardenbrook. This is your latest news, sports, and weather. It's your Newberry News Update on M123 FM.